Hi guys, thank you for joining me today on my channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at a cook kit. Stay with me. Hi again, I want to thank you for joining me today on my channel as we take a look at this cook kit. Real quick, I just want to give a shout out to my patrons on Patreon. And if you're not familiar with Patreon, people go on there and they support creators, and in return there's often like exclusives and stuff like that. What my patrons get is they get early access to all my videos, and they also get a monthly in-depth look and discussion with all the different artifacts that we covered that month. And there's an archive on there of all the past ones that we've done. So if you like the minutia, if you like detailed stuff, and if you want to support this channel in that way, then please check that out. All right, so why did I bring up a cook kit? Well, let's think about deer camp from a social standpoint, okay? Generally, it was a group of people that went together. They went for a long period of time. They camped out, and just like anything else, people come together around food. And Horace Kephart, who I keep referencing in this series, he talks extensively about camp furniture, which is kind of interesting because really in deer camp, you're spending more time out in the deer blind or out in the deer stand than you're really spending at camp. But it's cold after that day of spending out there, coming back to camp and having a nice warm meal and taking it easy, recharging a little bit. That's pretty nice as well. So Horace Kephart, he suggested a kit very much like this. Now this doesn't go back to the 1920s or 30s. If I had to guess, I think this is like 1980s, 1970s, maybe. But this style of kit was made for a very long time. In fact, if you followed my summer videos when I was doing all the old scouting gear, the scouts also in the 1920s and 30s sold kits just like this one. And there's some nice features to it. It nests. It's compact. It's all in one. And here in a minute, when I take this all apart, it'll kind of make sense to you. It's also made out of aluminum instead of steel. Now, in my past videos talked about enamelware and how that was preferred over aluminum, but we also got to take in consideration of weight. So aluminum was the light metallic material of the time. This was primo stuff back in the day. But you got to take in some considerations on how you cook on it, because it conducts heat almost twice as much as steel or other metals. So a lot of people hate using aluminum because it tends to burn their food. But once you practice on it, once you get used to it, it's no different than steel or anything else. All right? There's a little bit of a learning curve. That's all. So that's why I like aluminum. I have no problems with cooking on aluminum, but I've had a lot of years practice on it too. And I've burnt a lot of food on aluminum. So I'm going to throw that out there right now. All right. So in the 1920s, 1930s, aluminum ware was the thing to take. It's light, it's compact, everything's nested inside. So you could just grab it and go. Now, a lot of people couldn't afford these, for just sitting around. So they actually had outfitters that you could go to and you could rent gear and equipment. Horace Kephart talks about that. Instead of buying a bunch of stuff that you're only going to use once or twice a year, going to an outfitter and renting equipment was a practice that was used in the time. So it's certainly handy for going outdoors, and you can take this even on a picnic or something. But generally speaking, for a family, this is going to be what you would need for 4 more people. If you're just going by yourself, having a personal cook kit like what I showed during the summer video right here, check that out after this one, then that would make more sense. But when you have a group of people, this is pretty nice. And even if you're not going to use like the big pot for a ton of stew, the big pot is quite useful for other methods. All right, so before we get into this, do me a favor. If you like this stuff, if you found this interesting so far, and if you found some value in this, please go ahead and click the like button. That way others get shown this on their feeds and it's suggested to them, and it will help them out as well. But again, if this is of any value to you, please go ahead and do me a favor and click that like button. Thanks. All right, so what do we have here? We're going to pop this off. And immediately you see a shallow dish. And unless you've used one of these before, that might just be what it looks like. It's just a lid or a shallow dish. You could certainly use it for making a pie or a cake or something like that, which I've done. It's pretty nice. But on the side here, you'll see it's got something else. Right on top, we've got this handle. Now this handle is pretty cool. It hooks into the bottom there. It's got a little wing nut that you can loosen and tighten. You latch that top on there, then you turn your wing nut. There you go. Now you got yourself a really nice skillet. So we're going to put that over here for the moment. Next thing that comes out, because this is all nested together, we have the coffee pot. Now what's really cool about this kit is it has a locking feature. So for example, that's at 45 and then you can put it all the way down, but it kind of snaps into place. And that's pretty useful. That's really useful around camp. It also has the butterfly handles, which is really nice. And it's got a little top ring here so you can lift off the lid from the fire. If you look for one of these, try to get one that has this bail. That bail is going to be pretty awesome. The newer ones really don't come with the bail. I guess they expect you to just put it on the stove or on a grate of the fire. But having that bail to put it over a fire and just hang it is pretty nice. Or maybe you got a swing arm, bring it down, and then you can tip it. So, that aside, coffee pot, pop open the lid. Of course, you want to use all the space that you can because you've got a lot of stuff. You're trying to compact it. They would keep their cups. Now, this is an aluminum cup. This actually came from one of my Boy Scout sets. I've got the set of 4 of these cups somewhere. I put them away because I don't like drinking out of aluminum cups because the scalding part of it, that heat can really burn you. So you got your little cup, and the 4 of them nest in there, and in the space that you don't use for the cups, then I would suggest you pack it around like coffee and sugar and things like that. That way you're good to go. Next that comes out is this medium-sized pot. Again, it has that nice locking feature. That's going to be kind of noisy, so I'm going to try to... Okay, that wasn't too bad. Next, you have another shallow dish. And this, again, has a little area for you to put that handle so you can use it as another small skillet. Generally, these only came with 1 handle. Some of them came with 2, but generally speaking, they only came with 1. So you'd have to switch between the 2. Nice thing, I think, about this set is you can use both of these together and you can basically make it into a little Dutch oven. I think that's pretty cool myself. So you'd put I would probably put my batter in this one here because this is the smaller one, and put that on top and then put it on your coals. And then of course you would flip this around so then you could just lift this off to check to see how your biscuits or other items are being baked. If you're interested in how to use mess kits as a Dutch oven and to bake things, check out again my video on the mess kits because I did a whole experimentation on making biscuits in the M19 tin mess kit and Boy Scout mess kits and the steel mess kit and the aluminum. I even did a comparison. But there you go. That makes it really nice. And we have our aluminum plates. Nice thing about these plates is they do have quite a bit of a lip, so things aren't going to fall off quite as easy. And you have a big pot. Now, like I said, that's a lot of soup. So you might be thinking, well, why am I going to take this big old pot? You gotta get in that mindset of using things for multiple uses. So you could use this as a water pail. You can, especially around a fire, to throw out water on the fire and extinguish it. But you can also use it to clean your dishes. So you would heat up your water, put a little bit of soap in there, and then you got yourself your water basin. So it can be used as an all-in-one kit. All right. So there you go. If you can find these, they run kind of high. These vintage camping kits, they're, for some reason, I don't know if because the demand is so high with recreational use, maybe it's gaining in popularity, maybe it's nostalgia, or I don't know. They don't make them like they used to. I know a lot of companies are trying to shy away from aluminum because of the stigma around it. So that could be, but you're probably going to spend about $50, $60 on one of these kits right now. And that's if you're kind of lucky. People want to charge quite a bit for them. They do make some contemporary ones, but generally speaking, they don't come in this size. And they tend to come with plastic plates instead of the metal plates. The problem with plastic plates, in my opinion, is especially if you store them away in a garage or something, the heat and the cold, it makes the plastic really brittle. The nice thing about the plastic, though, is it insulates. So if you're going to have a hot meal, the plastic plates certainly are better. Give and take. It's what you like and what you want. But if you do go camping, especially as a family or with a group of other people, then getting one of these kits will save you a lot of hassle from trying to piece together your own from odds and ends, maybe at yard sales, etc. So find yourself a kit like this, and you'll be good to go. So before we leave, I am running a channel giveaway. So if you are interested, if you like this stuff and you find it interesting, if you have any value that you're getting from it, then click the subscription button and you'll get told of when these new videos come up. But when this channel hits 1,000 subscribers, then I'm going to do a drawing from all the 1,000 subscribers that I have. And what they're going to get, the winner, made by me, my own hands, and from the wood that I harvested and dried out personally, because I do a little bit of woodworking as well. You can never have too many hobbies, right? I'm going to give away a mallet. Now this is a chisel mallet, which is nice, but also people use it for beating stakes and other woods tools. But it's a handy little tool, often called a beetle. I'm also going to give you a reproduction 19th century 6-inch ruler. You'd be like, well, that's an odd thing to give away, especially if you're watching this video. But I've done a lot of Civil War videos as well. And this harkens back to my writing kit that I did for my when I was having my Civil War series. So if you're interested in Civil War stuff, I'll put the link right here so you can learn more about that kit, because it's pretty cool. And you also get a handmade fid. And if you don't know what a fid is, you need to watch the fid video, because I go into it and I show you how to use it. It's a pretty handy tool, especially if you're a vintage camper. If you like going outdoors and you like using natural rope, this will help you out, especially in the cold. If you try to manipulate rope once it's been wet or once it's cold, it can be a little bit more difficult than just room temperature in the summer. All right? So I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Give a kiss and hug to your loved ones, and I'll see you guys next Sunday. Take care.